be informed that the story you are about to hear is a unique blend of actual events and fictional elements. The narrative has been crafted in such a way to vividly convey the essence of the events that transpired. It is important to note that the names of the plantation and individuals mentioned within this tale have been altered to protect their identities and maintain the integrity of the story's fictional aspects. We invite you to immerse yourselves in this captivating journey, where reality intertwines with imagination to create a compelling and unforgettable experience. We hope you enjoy the story. The Truth with Dr. Ruth. Whose truth? Dr. Ruth's. Chapters 3. Ella's honesty to her father. As the first light of dawn pierced through the mist that clung to Misery Plantation, Ella's heart weighed heavy with the truth. She had to reveal to her father while walking beside him. The words trembled on her lips, threatening to spill forth and shatter the fragile peace that had momentarily settled over the haunted estate. "Dad," Ella began, her voice barely above a whisper, "there's something I need to tell you. Last night, in the dungeon, we used the Ouija board. We called upon spirits, and one of them identified himself as Andrew Anthony Gill." Her father's steps faltered at the mention of the name, a name that carried a weight of memories long buried beneath the shadows of the past. His eyes widened in disbelief, and he turned to face Ella, his expression a mix of shock and dread. "Andrew Anthony Gill. He owned this plantation when I was just a boy," he muttered, his voice tinged with a tremor of fear. The name stirred echoes of a bygone era, of secrets buried deep within the soil of Misery Plantation. Ella's face drained of color, mirroring the pallor of a ghost as the weight of her revelation settled upon them both. Her father's gaze bore into hers, a silent plea for understanding mingled with a tinge of reproach. Memories long forgotten resurfaced, whispering of a past steeped in darkness and the restless spirits that lingered in the shadows. With a heavy heart, her father beckoned the other children and his wife to come closer, his voice tinged with a solemn warning. "Children, you must promise me never to use the Ouija board again. It is a dangerous path that leads to places best left undisturbed." The children nodded in solemn agreement, their youthful faces etched with a newfound gravity as they gave their word to their father. Yet, despite their promise, the specter of Andrew Anthony Gill's presence lingered like a shadow over Misery Plantation, a reminder of the dark forces that stirred beneath the surface. The haunting had taken root, its tendrils reaching out from the past to weave a tapestry of mystery and fear that no promise could dispel. As they stood in the fading darkness of dawn, a sense of unease settled over them, a premonition of things yet to come. The haunting at Misery Plantation had awoken from its slumber, its secrets beckoning to be unraveled, its ghosts whispering of a past that refused to stay buried. And in the looming shadows of the old estate, the echoes of Andrew Anthony Gill's name hung heavy in the air, a harbinger of the darkness that awaited them all. As night descended upon Misery Plantation, casting its shadow over the ancient estate, the parents prepared to venture out, leaving the children behind. The allure of the forbidden, however, beckoned to the young ones, whispering of secrets waiting to be unearthed in the depths of the dungeon. Agreeing to stay home but unable to resist the tantalizing call of the unknown, the children crept down to the dungeon once more, the Ouija board clutched in their trembling hands. Despite their solemn promise to their father, curiosity and mischief danced in their eyes as they called forth the spirits once again. This time, a new presence made itself known, a woman named Katie, her spectral voice cutting through the silence of the dimly lit chamber. With a chilling clarity, she revealed the dark secrets that had long been buried within the walls of Misery Plantation. "Martin," Katie's voice echoed, laden with sorrow and regret, "he took his own life. He drank poison and lingered by the window until death claimed him. His wife, Maggie, discovered him there, a tragic tableau of betrayal and despair." The children listened in stunned silence as the tale of Martin's demise unfolded, a tale of love turned to ashes by infidelity and heartbreak. Katie's words painted a portrait of a man consumed by guilt and shame, driven to the brink by the weight of his sins. As the revelations poured forth, the dungeon seemed to come alive with a malevolent energy, the air crackling with unseen forces. A voice cried out in anguish, sending shivers down the children's spines and filling the chamber with a sense of foreboding. Terrified by the sudden escalation of events, the children hastily ended the séance, their hearts pounding with fear and uncertainty. Fleeing from the oppressive darkness of the dungeon, they emerged into the night air, their minds reeling with the weight of the secrets they had uncovered. In the hushed stillness of the night, a pact was made among the children. "Ella, The keeper of their shared secret vowed to conceal the truth from their father, knowing all too well the consequences of revealing what they had learned. Bound by fear and the weight of their newfound knowledge, they scattered into the night, haunted by the specters of Misery Plantation and the darkness that lurked within its walls. The haunting of Misery Plantation had taken a darker turn, its secrets laid bare by the restless spirits that dwelled within. And as the night deepened, a sense of unease settled over the old estate, its shadows whispering of tragedies long forgotten and sins that could never be erased. As the children fled the oppressive darkness of the dungeon, their hearts heavy with fear and foreboding, they sought solace in the open expanse of Misery Plantation's vast yard. The night air was thick with an eerie stillness, broken only by the distant sound of horses trotting in the darkness. Emerson, the eldest of the siblings present, suggested they check on the horses to ease their troubled minds. With trepidation gnawing at their hearts, they made their way to the stables, half hoping that the phantom sounds they had heard were nothing more than figments of their imagination. To their astonishment, both horses stood calmly in their stalls, their breath misting in the chill night air. A sense of unease settled over the children as they realized that the spectral trotting they had heard had no earthly origin. As the wind howled through the abandoned sugar factory, carrying with it whispers of forgotten sorrows and untold secrets, the children made a hasty retreat to the safety of the mansion. Ella, the youngest and most vulnerable of the siblings, lagged behind, her heart pounding in her chest as she raced towards the looming doors of the old estate. Just as she reached the threshold, the heavy wooden door slammed shut behind her with a resounding bang, sending a shock of terror coursing through her. A piercing scream escaped her lips as she stumbled into the dimly lit foyer, her eyes wide with fear. Outside, the phantom trotting of invisible horses continued, their hooves echoing across the large patio in a ghostly rhythm. The children huddled together, their hearts racing with a mixture of terror and fascination, as the haunting presence of Misery Plantation enveloped them in its chilling embrace. In the flickering light of the old estate, shadows danced on the walls, whispering of tragedies long past and restless spirits that refused to find peace. The children were caught in a web of fear and uncertainty, their minds haunted by the unseen forces that prowled the grounds of the haunted plantation. As the night wore on, the children clung to each other, their eyes wide with dread as they awaited the return of their parents, praying for the first light of dawn to banish the shadows that lurked within Misery Plantation's darkened halls. Stay tuned for Part 4, Escaping Misery Plantation. Remember to subscribe, like and hit the notification bell. Therefore, you will not miss out on new content. And remember, whose truth? No other than Dr. Ruth.